This is WSFA 12 News, Alabama Live.
Longtime pastor Dr. John Ed Mathison is teaming up with Coach Willie Spears to write a book on serving. Both of them are joining us here live on Alabama Live this morning to share their story. And tell us, what is the name of this book and what inspired you all to write it?
Oh, well, the name of the book, Willie came up with it, but we wanted to write something that would be practically applicable for people. And in life, everybody can either wear a bib and want to be served. What can I get? Or you can wear an apron and look for serving. And the people that serve are those that discover the greatest joy in life. So he came up with the idea of a bib or an apron.
Yeah, I think it's awesome to team up with Dr. John Ed Mathison, a man who we all respect so much, who has a great legacy in ministry. And, you know, serving is the heart of God. God is a server. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to serve. And so it's an honor to write this book with him. And we're excited to get it out to people.
What surprised you all most when you were writing this book? And what did you learn about yourselves and others when you were writing it?
Well, first thing I learned was Willie had asked me about 2 or 3 years ago, said, let's write a book together. I said, I'd love to. But I never heard from him. I called him and he didn't answer, so I just didn't know. I was speaking at a coaches conference last May. And just before I stood up to speak, Willie stands up and says, I have an announcement to make. John Ed and I are writing a book, and it'll be available in October of this year. I said, that's the first I've heard of when it's going to be available, so we got on it. First thing I discovered is that we could do that quickly. And in life, when you focus on something, you can usually accomplish something. And also, the hardest thing about writing is that you got to apply it to yourself. So it's always easy to want people to do something for us, but the real joy in life comes is when we serve. And reading what Willie wrote was an inspiration to me. I learned a lot. Just we have 54 articles in there, and each of us wrote about 26 of them or 27 of them. And so I learned a lot. I learned more from what Willie wrote than what I wrote.
So you said 64 articles. Are these stories about your life, about other people's stories?
Well, what we did, we took current events, things that were happening already that people knew about, news events that you all covered, and we found a serving element in them. One article that Dr. John Ed wrote is called Divide With, where he talks about how it's a real story of a young man that talked to an older man about whatever you have, divide it with someone else. And then I told several stories about the importance of serving and how as a coach, I would actually literally wash my coach's feet. I know that sounds crazy, but I would get down and I would serve them by showing them the greatest leader to ever live. He washed feet, and we want to do the same. And so there's a lot of stories from our point of view, from our life. Dr. John Ed has lived a very interesting life, and I've lived a pretty interesting life. And so it's been a lot of fun. And it was competitive. You see who can write their articles the best and the fastest. And Dr. John Ed, he won that battle. It wasn't even close.
Why do you think a book?
I told you I won it, but I think yours are a whole lot better.
Why do you think a book like this is needed in this time?
Well, it's the heart of what Jesus came to do. You see, people never understood. They always were trying to do something for Jesus. And he said, look, I didn't come to be served, but to serve. And then he talked to them about the greatest joy in life is serving. When people discover that we're here to be a blessing to others and to serve, that's where the joy of life really comes. So it was out of that. I think it's the most important element that we could discover today, that life isn't about me. It's not about me. It's about what God has gifted me to do to serve others.
Yeah, I heard Will Smith in the interview say the other day, his goal was to make $1 million. Then he made $1 million. He said, now my goal is to make even more money. Then his goal was to be the biggest movie star. And he said he never was fulfilled. And he wasn't even talking about from a faith standpoint. He said he was most fulfilled when he started helping others, when he used his resources to serve others. And so we all like great customer service. We like great customer service at a department store. We like it at the fast food restaurant. And so we know what it feels like to receive good customer service. I believe we all should want to give that every single day. And that's what we're here to do, to make someone else's day better, to add value to someone else's life. And we hope that people can grasp that from this book, because we all need this at this time in life.
Bib or Apron, where can people find this book?
They can go to my website, williespears.com, or they can go to Amazon. Many people are used to buying things on Amazon. It's available on Amazon.com right now. It'll be available soon on Dr. John Ed Mathison's website. But we ask that you get it and get one to bless someone else as well. This is a great book to give as a gift.
All right, and Bib or Apron, you said available on your websites and on Amazon. Thank you so much for joining us here on Alabama Line.
Thank you for this opportunity.